every age. Wouldn't you like to see something strange? Come with us and you will see this.
Ah, who doesn't Halloween? This year I went as the Khaleesi, or Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones. And I figured why not take you guys with me as I stuttered through making this costume. Now I didn't really have a plan when going into making this costume. I just kind of looked at a picture and figured some stuff out. First thing I did was I went to Joann's, where I bought 2 different types of fabric. And I also bought a few pieces of trim. So to make the skirt, I just took a big hunk of fabric, wrapped it around me, and cut it. Then to keep the fabric from fraying, I just folded all the edges over and then sewed them. This required a lot of sewing and a lot of Gilmore Girls. Then I real ghettily sewed on some Velcro and used this to attach my skirt. Then I just tied an old belt and the trim around my waist. For the top, I cut out a strip of fabric that seemed to fit around my stomach. Then I made sort of a bra doohickey by just folding pieces over and sewing them. I was not meant to be a seamstress. To make the straps, I just took 3 pieces of fabric and then braided them. I also made another smaller braid and attached this to the top, mostly to cover my sucky sewing job. To keep the back of the top together, I poked 4 holes on each side of the fabric and then took a piece of thread and had someone else tie it up like a corset. I then wore some tights that I had laying around and some old boots. For my gloves, I literally just took some extra fabric, tied it around my hand, and safety pinned it shut. Now on to my makeup. Ooh, well we started here looking flawless. Then I just went ahead and stuck my weaving cap on. Don't me and the model just look like one person? And then I thought about just going as a chicken for Halloween, but decided I already made the costume. I applied the Smashbox Photo Finish primer all over my face, and then attempted to apply this Revlon ColorStay foundation all over my face. But it was a lot more liquidy than I thought it was going to be, and then I felt I needed to apply it quickly. After my struggle, I applied a little bit more foundation to some problem areas, and then I also applied this Blemish Therapy on this nasty zit on my chin that would just not settle down. I then set everything with bareMinerals Mineral Veil, and applied this Loreal True Match blush on my cheeks and my cheekbones. When I applied this, I applied it on the apples of my cheek and then brushed it back pretty heavily instead of using a bronzer, because the Khaleesi just has naturally glowy, peachy skin. I then took a different foundation that was a couple shades darker than my skin and applied them to the corners of my mouth, as her mouth is a bit more poutier than mine. Also down my nose, as mine is massive. I then took this Urban Decay Pulp Fiction palette and righteous all across my lid. I then used Tyranny to contour my eyelids. I used Rimmel's ScandalEyes eyeliner to tightline my eyes, and then I applied a thin line on the top lids. I then used a small brush to smudge that right out, and I took a bit more of the eyeshadow Tyranny and applied that to my bottom eyelids. Khaleesi has some intense eyebrows, so I applied this Anastasia Brow Primer, and then gave myself some real intense eyebrows with this Anastasia Brow Wiz. I stuck some fake eyelashes on my face, cause why not? I always make the prettiest faces. And then use this Lashblast Volume Mascara in brown, as her eyes are just so natural. A quick swipe of chapstick, and then this Revlon ColorStay lip pencil, and then just added some lipstick. I then tried to eat this chip without ruining my makeup, and failed. Now on to my wig. I got this really cheap wig from Amazon. It was the only one I could get in time for the party. So I undid the braids that it came with, and added 3 of my own. Then I tightened them to make them appear a bit thicker. Now one trick you can use for a cheap wig is apply some baby powder to it. This will take away some of the shininess, and also it worked in my favor because my wig was a little bit too yellow for some Khaleesi hair. Then I just took an extra piece of fabric and tied it around the hair tie so it looked less fake. Then I just went ahead and stuck that on my head, and I was ready to go. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a happy Halloween!